At the foot of the mountain, you stand tall, but you stand cautious and forewarned of the danger ahead. And as you step up that mountain, you discover that you step 1 foot in front of the other. And the only way to get up that mountain is through grit, push, and determination. We need to understand that discipline and commitment to our goals and dreams is essential for them to be fully manifested. And when we're willing to put in the hard work, we can go very, very far in our life. Sung by Ashima. I'm Everett Curdy, and I'm going to be walking you through the astrology of September 30th and October 1st, 2024, beginning with the Junior at the Beach day, which is September 30th. We're going to first talk about the Mars trine to Saturn. Mars is in Cancer, Saturn is in Pisces. Cancer and Pisces are both water signs. Therefore, they're in an aspect of great harmony and like a river flowing down, like a waterfall. Like that's a trine. It's so effortless, it's so graceful, it's so effervescently easy. It's like a waterfall. So that's the way to think about trines, because waterfalls are harmonious and trines are harmonious aspects. So this Mars trine to Saturn talks about discipline and persistence when it comes to getting things that you want, when it comes to achieving the things that you know that you want to get off on the beaten path with in your life. This is about putting in the hard work and being willing to do that work. You're more able right now to complete the most difficult, the most strenuous, the most monotonous, the most stupid of tasks that you could ever think of putting your fingers onto. This is about reestablishing your relationship with the pulling up of your bootstraps, the rolling up of your sleeves, getting your hands in the dirt, and actually planting your garden. Efficiency is the major theme here. Do whatever system makes you feel more efficient. Patience is another big theme here. Knowing that things are not going to take the snap of your fingers to get done. They're not going to take an hour or 2 hours or 5 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours or 24 hours. They're going to take days, weeks, and months for you to achieve your long-term goals, because the long-term goals require you to be in it for the long haul. So patience is a necessary skill to have. Slowing down, taking things one step at a time. Patience, that's what you need to evolve into during this time. This is about following through on something that you're passionate about, whatever it is, whatever you're passionate about. Is it about a blind switch? Is it about the grass earth? Is it about the sidewalk Ehrlich? Is it about the car's steering wheel? Whatever you are passionate about at this time, this must be put into practice and action. Is what you feel passionate about. What area of history are you passionate about? What area of science are you passionate about? What area of understanding in general are you passionate about? Learn about it and take action on it. That's the message of this time. Something of value could be bringed up in the woodlands for you at this time. Could be through the grapevine in the present moment, is doing the things that you put off dealing with, doing the things that you need to know that you need to get done, rolling up the carpet, lifting weights in the gym, whatever you've put off doing for a long time. Make that meal for somebody. Write that novel for your publishing company. This is the time to pursue the desired outcome. Your love will also benefit because you have more commitment and loyalty to partners at this time. So the partners know that you are loyal. The partners know that you are, um, you know, in it, really in it to stick it out. But you can be very dependable and realistic to the people in your world where people can count on you. So it's good to be that rock that people can lean on at this time. You know, the rock of reliability that you can be to the people in your world in this particular era. You may be attracted in relationship to strong bone structures and physical features of that kind of thing. You may favor committed long-term relationships, not a short zippity-swickety relationship, not a nightstand, not a one and done, but a long-term, stable, mutual, deep relationship that is really where the people are bonding, they're helping each other out, it's co-independent. This is the kind of relationship structure that can last for the longest time, is a co-independent relationship. That is the relationship that will stick out for 50 or more years. If the two people are co-independent. Codependent relationships, 5 or 6 years. Codependent relationships, 2 or 3 years. But co-independent relationships, that's a long time coming. Any relationship to authority figures here is important. Your boss, your spouse, your xenophobics, your sort of top of the line people, police officers, government officials, although that gets more mundane talking about that. But anyway, long-term goals, whatever your long-term goals are, good to do those at this time. Good to work towards at this time. The focus here is on work in any practical matter. Your passions may be also expressed in a more subtle way, not a very strong out and about sort of way. So that's something to note as well. So your passions will be expressed in a way that is not boisterous and loud, but it is a contentment of knowing, of true inner knowing that this is the direction that I want to go in. The moon will also sextile Mars. The moon is in Virgo. Mars is in Cancer. So this is about going after your passions. Whatever you're passionate about, similar with the Mars trine Saturn energy, because Mars rules your passions. You can find that you're more enthusiastic, specifically towards work and recreation. So you're more sort of, into that type of process where it can be the very best that you can make it, and it could be also the same way that it could be being accentuated because of the timing, because of the yearning for the little something. You can also find that you're more enthusiastic at this particular topic. More enthusiasm. That's what you can find. You're competitive, yet also cooperative in the best sense of things being the way that they are. So if you are competitive, it will serve you well this time because Mars is in a positive aspect with the moon. So any competing, any rallies of running, any tennis players of baton is going to be productive. It's going to work out well. So if you attract people who meet your outgoing spirit, who are like you, who are daring, brave, independent, pioneering, taking the lead of their life sort of people, this can be a productive time for those type of people in your life. So it's good to be around those people and move on your path with those people moving on their own individual paths. This is also about taking the lead of your life. Leading your life is key here. Where does there need to be excitement in relationships? Where does there need to be spice in your relationships? Where does there need to be change in your relationships? That is an important matter to consider at Kanmasha. This is good for any kind of physical activity, running, skipping, hula hooping, bag throwing, juggling, whatever is physical. That is a playful physical activity that you can do with family and friends. For example, cornhole in the backyard. Forget I said that, but anyway. Meeting your emotional needs while going after your desires at the same time can be productive. Sextiles represent the energies are balanced, like a scale, because we're in Libra season. The scale, the two hands are in equilibrium. Sextiles are an aspect of balance where the two can come together, forming a compromise, forming a productive, actionable step that we can take by the two planets involved. So the next aspect going on is that the moon is going to oppose Saturn. The moon is in Virgo, Saturn's in Pisces. This overall is sort of a Debbie Downer one to consider, is it brings about sadness and loneliness. These feelings, even if you have a lot of people, a lot of love around you, a lot of care around you, even if you feel like people would genuinely care about you, you can feel sort of sad at this time. So to work through your sadness or loneliness, I recommend if you have an oracle deck in your possession, I recommend taking that deck out at this time so that you can feel less sad and lonely, and so you can develop your relationship to spirit, your primary relationship in your life, your relationship to the universe at large, your relationship to God, Fred, the divine, whatever you call an infinite universe. There is a system of belief where you have angels and guides, but we only know how many, we don't know how many of those are. So it's best to stick with the divine or universe or God to simplify things, for wisdom and guidance. And so you can find that when you pull out, an oracle deck like this one, when you pull out, um, oracle cards and a guidebook, you can build a deeper connection with spirit. You can feel connected, you can feel supported, loved, and that sadness and loneliness hopefully will dissipate. So that's what I recommend from my own, experience and knowledge of life in general. Um, I hope that doesn't seem too obvious or too limited of an answer for what I can provide, because variety is very important to me. I have two planets in Gemini. Um, my Mercury, which is how I communicate, is in Taurus, so I may be fixated on things, I repeat things, but hopefully I don't, hopefully that doesn't come across in these videos. Hopefully they're like sailing in a sea of variety sort of thing. So that's my hope for these videos. But so what could also be happening is that you can find difficulty when it comes to sharing emotions and forming close connections and relationships. So being vulnerable, being close with somebody can be more difficult at this time, and it can cause, in general, sort of separation where you can feel cut off or separated from the people involved. You may feel depressed at this time with whatever is going on, so listen to a song that you like, go on a walk that you like, lift up the balloons if you need to. Whatever uplifts your spirit at this time, wonderful to do that. You may feel burdened by your obligations toward family. That's another aspect of this. Pulled down by family, move about by family, feeling like the weight of the world's on your shoulders kind of thing. When it comes to family obligations. For example, right now in my life, a very close family member of mine is going through time in the hospital, is had several surgeries with, a certain part of his body, and will be in the hospital for a long time. So I hope that he is um all right and will be okay. But that's sort of an obligation to, be there for this person, to, to put your sort of focus in on that particular scenario in your life. And so this is not the time to guilt trip other people. There can be strains in relationship, there can be distance in relationship. This is about leaning into darker, more serious emotions, really going there and feeling these serious emotions. Really feeling the darker emotions and being willing to sort of move through that tunnel until you reach the light on the other side of it. Because only by, the only way to release these emotions is to actually walk through that tunnel of what you're feeling so that you can integrate the emotions and then release the emotions. And I know that I've mentioned this several times before in previous videos. This can also create, this transit of the moon opposite Saturn can also create a feeling of emotional heaviness also. But a good thing to do at this time is first, you need to be emotionally resilient. You need to be strong emotionally, able to handle whatever obstacle, whatever wave comes your way that will disturb the peace in your life. Being emotionally strong, being mentally strong, not mentally weak. That kind of thing, and do the things that will make you feel mentally strong. Um, and as of a way of doing things, if you feel like you're living your life going through the motions and that you're at a hopeless place in your life, I recommend the advice from a Darman film that I was watching yesterday. Darman is a YouTube creator. He does films about many different scenarios. Um, and on one of the films that I was watching just the other day, one of the characters in the film was talking about putting your heart and soul into something. We can think about what you're devoted to, what you're committed to, what your passions are. Now's the time to, so that your heart can enter the conversation of this kind of thing. And this is also good for journaling. So writing down your thoughts, writing down your feelings. There's so many benefits to journaling. Now, I did pull oracle cards from the Mystical Shaman Oracle by Colin Baron Reed, Alberto Villoldo, and Marcelo Lobos. And the card that I pulled, where I asked the question, what does the collective need to know on September 30th, 2024? And just, full disclosure, I am recording this on the 30th because I got home very, very late last night and I had absolutely no energy to film a video realistically. And so I apologize if this video is on the later side. But hopefully it shouldn't happen again. Hopefully I will be able to make the video at the proper date that I, should make it in future. But, that's just how the cookie crumbles. So I pulled a card. It is, both of these cards, by the way, are in the reverse position. And so the card that I pulled is the Rainmaker reversed, as you can see. The Rainmaker reversed. So what I intuitively got out of this card is about calling upon spirit to guide you, calling upon the divine to aid you in your life, to be a guide for you and to be open to the guidance that you receive from the divine. I'm not talking angels, I'm not talking guides, I'm talking about the one universal source of energy, that simplifies things. So, allow spirit to move through you and guide you throughout your day, always, which is also another way of saying, follow your intuition, follow your heart. And you are meant to manifest what you desire to manifest right now. This is also a reminder to gather up the people in your personal life. Be around those people, but also go into reflection. Reflect on who you are. Reflect on, the kind of person that you are, your life experiences, how you've grown in your life, all those kind of things. So I'm going to now read to you the essence of the card, so that you get an understanding about what this card is about. What does the Rainmaker symbol actually mean before we get into the message to remember and the guidance for the card. So in this particular guidebook for this particular deck, there is 3 sections. Let me just show you right now. Let me just find it here. There is has the card black and gray. There's the essence, the invitation, and the medicine. So the invitation is only read if the card is upright, and the medicine is only read if the card is reversed, but the essence is always read. So what is the Rainmaker? That's what we need to know. Before getting into the medicine, we need to understand what a Rainmaker is. What does the symbol mean in actuality? So I'm going to read it to you. The Rainmaker is the master of manifestation, who can call on the elements of nature to serve the greater good. When the power to co-create is used with integrity, great beauty and benefit flow to all. When this power is used for personal gain only, everyone suffers. When the earth is parched, the Rainmaker calls the waters from the heavens, and all that is dominant in the fields and in people's hearts. Spring to life again. So, this particular card talks about a calling of remembrance to you that you are a powerful co-creator. You co-create your life with spirit all the time. Even if you're not thinking about it, you're co-creating your life by the thoughts you think, by the actions you take, and knowing that you are a powerful co-creator. You are also involved with co-creating reality. It's not just the universe, it's not just spirit, but you and your action steps and the tasks and the details that you take in your daily life. You are also responsible for co-creating your reality. And the world is also a reflection, a mirroring back to you of what your state of being is, what your thoughts are, what your actions are. They say, you know, karma is a beep, because what happens is you do something and there is a consequence for it, and there's karma comes back around. There's good karma and there's bad karma, and so that can be part of this conversation as well. But anyway, um the world is a reflection back to you of who you are, by the state of being, by the process that you're going through in your life, by what you're feeling on an internal level. So it's important to change your state of being on the inside. If you want peace, if you want groundedness, if you want contentment, if you want joy, love, whatever the state of being that you want is, you need to take the action steps to get yourself to that state of being. The other reminder here is to not take life personal, to not take it personally, to wear the world as a loose garments kind of thing, to take things at face value, to not take it so deeply, not to mean everything that's coming across to you as affecting you, because what people say is not a reflection of who you are, it is a reflection of who they are. So, by that understanding, with that understanding, it's important to not take life on that personal level. We're moving on to October 1st. Happy birthday, Julie Andrews. She would be turning 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 89 today. 89 in this particular day. So 89 years of life. Um, so, um, on October 1st, the moon is square Jupiter. The moon is square Jupiter. So that's the first aspect that we're talking about. This brings about good feelings. This can also bring about a tendency to overindulge in food, drink, or drugs. So there is this quality of overindulgence, like you're overdoing whatever it is. You're going too far. You're going off the deep end. You're running too far into the meatball heavens. You're um, fattening yourself up too much, whatever is overdoing it because of feeling good, feeling like you want to engage with life and fulfilling your desire for pleasure, where there's no off button. So you need to find the off button and moderate yourself with that. Any negative aspect in Jupiter requires moderation, which is the key to happiness. Um, So it's important to not lower your standards in relationships also. It's important not to impulse buy when shopping. Think about, do you really need or want this item, or are you doing it because you feel impulsively compelled and you're not checking in and tuning in with your intuition to see if this is the right time or the right thing to buy for you personally. You also need to evaluate what is holding you back from expressing your creativity. Whatever that is. If there's any person or any situation holding you back from, you being your creative self in painting, drawing, sculpting, whatever it is that is in the creative area of fields of life. Um, and so you also need to not put off the hard work that you need to do. You might not feel in the mood for hard work, but you have to do the hard work in the practical 3D realm of reality on the practical plane. So it's about saying yes to the hard work and being willing to take care of yourself, being willing to do what is right and best for you, providing for yourself, doing the work that you need to do, knowing that life is not easy and you can't just turn to pleasure every moment that you want to. So, it's important not to react to the world through powerful emotions. You may feel like reacting to the world, but it's important to respond to the world, respond to the people in your world, with what they say, rather than react to them. However, if I want guidance, I will sit down and ask for the guidance instead of receiving it when it was uninvited and I did not want to hear the guidance, because that's the different thing. It's like when someone's saying something that you don't want to hear, you didn't ask for that person to say that. You didn't say, give me advice on, whatever. That person just said it and you didn't want to hear it. So it's natural to react, and it's okay not to follow it and to, say don't go there. But if you are receiving the guidance, if you actually make the choice to receiving the guidance, that's when becoming available is super important. Becoming receptive to that guidance because you actually initiated it saying that I want guidance right now. And so therefore be open to receiving the guidance. Um, in people form, in oracle card form, in angels and guide form, in the universe form, whatever form the guidance comes in. When you ask for the guidance, be prepared to receive whatever guidance the universe has to offer you. So, balancing your emotional nature with the intellectual side of who you are. This represents a balance. Sextiles are about balance, about balancing your feeling nature, your emotions, with the intellectual side of, who you are, with your mind, with your intellect. So balance things out is important. Balance two things out. Is super important to declutter at this time. So it's important to come back down to reality, and be in a realistic-minded state. So, be realistic at this time. It's important to be realistic, coming back down to reality. It's important to be discerning, but also follow your instincts. This can also create feelings of indifference, so it's important to be empathetic. And you can see a speech by Elie Wiesel called "The Perils of Indifference," and if you watch it, it will sound as if he's had to explain the concept of indifference multiple times because the people don't understand it. That's my only complaint with that, but he does provide words of wisdom in that particular speech that you can check out on YouTube. This also represents balancing your need for freedom while being available to perform your responsibilities. So, that is paramount, is balancing your responsibilities, but also allowing yourself to do what you personally want to do. About fitting that into your schedule, finding the time for that in your day, in your life. You also need to ground your dreams while also holding the vision of what you want in your mind or in your third eye, if you follow that school of thought. This is also a time to act on the restless energy that you might feel. She may feel restless. She may feel like, acting in a certain way that is reactive. It is you picking up the energy, you changing something in your life, following that sort of a spectrum. The moon will also oppose Neptune. So the moon is at 28 degrees of Virgo, Neptune's at 28 degrees of Pisces, Neptune is still retrograde. And so the moon is opposite Neptune. And Neptune will be retrograde until December of this year. So it's important to avoid seances at this time. You may also be over-idealizing a person or condition. That may be something here. You're looking at the positive sides of it. You're not acknowledging the more negative sides. You're only seeing the good in people, ignoring the bad and the shadowy aspects of them. You're seeing the people for who you think they are, not who they truly are. So be aware of that. You may also be susceptible to illness or infection at this time, so be careful about that. Any moon opposite Neptune aspect can bring about confusion. That's what it can bring about, is feeling more just unclear about things, foggy about things. And so it's important to not determine what are pipe dreams and determine what are truly your dreams and visions for your life that you can manifest in your reality. So it's important to do reality. Come back down to reality as much as you can. Find ways to ground yourself at this time. Clarifying your energy, that kind of thing. And so therefore it's great for any spiritual practice. The moon will also trine Pluto in Capricorn. So the moon is at 29 degrees of Virgo. Pluto is at 29 degrees of Capricorn. You may be transformed by your emotions. That may be something to this. So your emotions may transform you. There may also be regeneration in relationships, things of that particular thing involved, where there's new starts, there's new evolution in your relationships, there's new mollifications in your relationships, where you're sort of cut off the pimple on top of the boil kind of thing. There's more sort of room for new energy in your relationships. So someone went down into that cavern and turned on the generator once again and repowered, refueled the relationship. So there's their general line re-energizing of relationships. Someone may move you deeply and intensely influence you in your life. Someone may transform you and intuitively influence your life in a powerful way. This is also time to build up your psychic protection. This is also time to explore the taboo areas of life. You may want to form a deeper connection with your mother at this particular time, forming a much more intimate, bonded, emotionally loving connection with your mother at this particular era of in emit kind of thing. And so your intuition is also given a huge boost easily. You're easily able to peer up the surface and peer up to what's going on in your life and peer up to the true answers that you are discovering. This is also a time to confront difficult truths that you need to face. This can also create empowerment when it comes to trusting your instincts. That's super important about that. And so the final aspect going on this particular day on October 1st is Mercury will conjunct Lilith in Libra. So when the planet of communication is conjunct the deep, dark, wild, feminine nature, the unruly Lilith energy, this is a time where our deeply buried emotions could affect how we think, how we communicate, how we act at this time. You may not be able to hold back expressing your emotions. There may be a need to express your feelings very, very strongly in a real, raw, and outburst-like way. Now is the time to give your permission to do that, because Lilith is untamed. It is an energy that demands that you be your individualistic self. So letting out your emotions in whatever way that they are is something that is a necessity at this time. Something that, is implored to do by astrologers. It's important to speak out, speak at, give yourself permission to speak out about what you're feeling. Speak out the things that you desire to speak out about. And so your words are likely to be more sharp at this time, and you're also feeling more passionate about this particular energy. Now, the card that I pulled, where I asked the question, to shuffle the cards, where I asked the question, what does the collective need to know for this, October 1st? And the card I got is another card in the upside down position, the Jaguar reversed. Just give you a second to look at that. So let me read to you the essence of this card, which is number 28. Let me just find it here. So the essence of the card, this is what it says. The Jaguar is the protector of all life in the Amazon, and in times of fear, she brings courage and certainty. Jaguar is at the top of the food chain and never becomes prey. With great stealth, she can track her mark from a distance and not be seen or heard. She moves gracefully through the jungle, relishing the abundance of the rainforest, fearless and at ease. Jaguar knows the ways beyond death and the master of the shadows, blending invisibly between light and dark, night and day. So if there is anything that you need to release in your life, whatever that may be, person, place, situation, thing, whatever it is, maybe it's a musical textbook, maybe it's a cord, maybe it's headphones, maybe it's an oracle deck that you don't need, maybe it's a dice you don't need. Whatever is just cluttering up your space and cluttering up your life, now's the time to clear away the clutter and let go of things so that you can make space for new energy for new things in your life. It's a sort of a feng shui-like energy card. This is also a time to heal any fear that you have by exposure to your fears and any healing modality of fear. You need to get out of the shadows, get out of your shadowy aspects of yourself by facing those shadowy parts of yourself, by willing to go through the shadows to release those shadowies of yourself. And so this ultimately allows you the opportunity to get back to your instinctual knowing of what are the right people, places, situations for you to be in, and follow your instincts when it comes to that. All right, everybody, that is your astrology and oracle reading for these couple of days. Let me know what you enjoyed about this video down in the comments below. Consider sharing this, subscribing to my channel, hitting the notification bell, and tune in to my future video uploads. Bye, everyone.